but go ahead.
All right, well, go ahead and say it, Gary.
No, I can't now because it was behind the scenes kind of stuff.
All right. Well, that'll be on our be a separate episode for that. The stuff that we can't say when we're live.
Although I will say I'll apologize ahead of time to Aaron and Brandon because this is not my first one, and if I happen to get a little loud or if I sing or something, I apologize.
Yeah, Gary, I don't know if you've ever seen me in action before, but I'm quite certain that you won't be alone in any embarrassment that you.
That's why I'm not apologizing to you. I'm just apologizing to
the others. Well, this is.
You're good.
Well, I know one time we was doing an episode and I kept cutting Aaron off, and then afterwards I watched it. I'm like, God, I'm an asshole. I felt really bad then.
Oh, I know. I've made apologies before after these group videos where I've gotten a little carried away, but what are you gonna do? All right. So we're here to talk about breakup songs. We did love songs 2 weeks ago, and Brandon hit on the great idea of let's do breakup songs. Let's do the opposite kind of a video, companion video, such as it were. So we got Aaron, we got Gary, and we got Brandon. Yeah, very cool. And then Josh and Chris both texted me their list. So it'll be like they're here, but even though they couldn't be here in the flesh. So I'm very happy to represent their picks also. All right, well, let's get started. Aaron, why don't you give us your number 5 pick?
Okay, well, this was actually really hard for me because, I was really into these breakup songs when I was a teenager, my early 20s, but I've totally gone the opposite since my early 20s, and I rarely connect with these songs anymore. Probably because I've just been in 2 relationships since then for like 25, almost 30 years, so I don't feel the breakup stuff anymore like I used to. But there's a few I remember that I love, so I pulled them out. My number 5 is going to be from this record here, Steelheart. It's the song She's Gone. It's the other ballad on here, other than the big hit, which is I'll Never Let You Go, Angel Eyes. But it's the song She's Gone. And I remember back when I first got this album, I was blown away by his high vocals on that song. It's just like nobody else could sing like that. It was amazing. That stuff doesn't really impress me as much anymore as it did back then. But the lyrics are all about losing a woman and the heartache of it. And I've always loved that song. I think it's a superior song to the big hit. For a ballad, I think it's a great one. And that's my number 5. So
it's also a cover of the Hall & Oates song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
No, it's a totally different song. And if you get a chance to listen to it, the singer of Steelheart, he hits these high notes. It's like he's one of the best singers there was back then. It's just amazing, these highs he goes to on that. And I'm not sure if anyone else has ever really even heard it from this panel, but it's a really good song.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've heard it just because of you talking about it, and I went and looked them up on YouTube a few times because they played here in Ohio last year at this kind of like little festival thing, and I think they're going to be there again this year, actually.
Yeah, a weird thing. I'm a big unfan of the movie, but the movie, what was it? I think it was Rockstar. That movie.
Oh yeah, really?
It made me cringe hearing old songs done like that. It was like it reminded me of like Lee, but hard rock. It just drove me nuts. But I'm pretty sure he does the vocals on that, like Tom Cruise's vocals. He's the one that does the vocals in that movie. I'm pretty sure it was a singer of Steelheart, Mike Machevic. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but he's right there.
Tom Cruise can jump off the side of a mountain. He just can't sing. Is that?
Well, he can, but he just has to, he's kind of has someone throw the voice into him, like a ventriloquist type thing, I guess.
Okay, gotcha. So he's just kind of lips. All right. Fair enough. All right, Gary, your pick.
All right. So my first pick, I can represent it with 2 albums because I like each version pretty much equal. And that's You're No Good. I'm feeling better now that we're through. Feeling better. I'm over you. I learned my lesson. It left a scar, and now I see how you really are. You're no good. I think it's a great breakup song. I mean, I love Linda Ronstadt's version of it. It's kind of a slower, has a sexy feel to the music. And then, of course, Van Halen rocks it up a bit. And I love both these versions, man. So I didn't want to pick one. I thought I'm gonna pick both of them. But I've always loved that song. You're no good.
I can't believe I didn't pick that one.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say that's a totally great pick. I totally forgot about that one.
Thanks.
Yeah, both those versions are awesome.
Of course, I like the Van Halen one better, but Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah, yeah. Like you were saying, that there's something kind of like slow and intense about Linda's version. It's almost like a sexiness, but at the same time, it's just like this energy that comes from it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So great pick.
Brandon describes my stuff better than me.
Yeah, I love the ending of that song too on the Linda Ronstadt version.
Yeah.
Where it's like that instrumental break at the end.
Yeah, I can't imitate it, but
Yeah.
That's actually a record I grew up listening to. My parents had her greatest hits, so I heard that since I was a little kid, and I always loved that version. But then Van Halen's came out, and I was,
no good. No good. No good.
All right, Brandon.
All right. So I'll start with my fifth pick here. And the one thing I'll say that'll kind of describe all of my picks here moving forward is that, there's always that element of like, my heart is broken, I love you, and blah, blah, blah. That's not what draws me in about a heartbreak song. It's more so the picture that they paint. Like, you've been able to take heartache that I've been able to relate to, and you actually painted a picture that really, really relates to how I think about it or how I feel about it. So that's kind of the context of my picks. And so the first one I'm going to start with here is Second Chance by 38 Special.
Oh.
And this is off of their album from 1988. And it's just a really cool song. It's just about a guy that cheated. Like, I totally messed up, and I just need a second chance. But just kind of the way he's going through the lyrics, especially going into the second verse where he starts off with, "So this is love, standing in the pouring rain. I fooled on you, but she never meant a thing." And it was just something about just like the image of him standing on the street outside of our house, rain just coming down. And he's just like so heartbroken. And he's like, so this is love. Like, this is where it takes you, where he's completely broken down, standing in the rain, begging for forgiveness. And something about that line just creates such a picture for me every time I hear it. And when he goes into a little bit further detail as well, when he's kind of saying, when love makes this sound, like all the crap that's going on, he's like, that's when a heart needs a second chance. Like, if love is making you feel all of this and it's making this sound, dude, you got to give that a second chance. And I don't know, it's just something about it. I've always just been so touched by that song. So that's my number 5 pick right there.
That's a cool pick. That's kind of like out of left field. That's kind of neat. Well, you picked something from 38 Special, and he picked something from Steelheart. That's kind of cool. Mine's kind of an obvious one, I feel like. You guys kind of picked ones that I wouldn't have thought of.
I don't think it's so obvious, considering we both missed it, and it's a great one. I think that's a pretty good pick.
As soon as you showed yours, I was
like, Trevor joining us. Nice. And it's Mike. Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Ooh.
What's up, Mike?
Yeah, sorry I fooled you with the Metallica video, Mike. I do. I was like, there's going to be somebody who doesn't get the joke and think that it's real, and that ended up being Mike, unfortunately. So
you caught me on a couple of those when I first got to know you, Jeff. So
yeah, well, that's when I first started doing them, I was fooling everybody, and then eventually they caught on to it, and oh, he's full of crap. But all right, anyway, my first pick is going to be off the Goat's Head Soup album. And that is going to be Angie.
Nice.
Love that one. I don't know. Just something great about that ballad. I love, that's one of their most underrated albums. But Angie, You know, it's sweet, it's sentimental. Jagger sings it with a lot of emotion. Um, so I don't know, great melody too. You know, what else is there to say? And everybody speculated, who is Angie? Is it David Bowie's girlfriend? Is it Angie Dickinson? Who is it? And I don't think it's any of those people. I think it was just a name that worked well with the lyrics and I think Keith Richards has said as much. Like they're really, you know, there's no identifiable Angie. It's just a name they chose for that song. But
Yeah, the lyrics in that song are awesome.
yeah. Well, and it was the first time. I mean, they didn't really have. I mean, I guess Wild Horses was kind of a ballad, but you know, I don't remember on Exile there being really a ballad on that album. And then with you know, Goat's Head Soup, you got a great one with Angie. So
Yeah.
oh, it was Angela Lansbury. That's who it was. Okay.
Oddly, that might be in my top 10.
Yeah, I'll buy it for $1. All right, so I said we're gonna include Josh's picks and Chris's picks. Josh's pick was Aerosmith. Tell Me What It Takes. What album is that off of? Is that off of Pump?
It's What It Takes, that Pump.
I think it's Pump. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big hit, actually. I like that one.
Okay. So yeah, great breakup song. And then Chris chose Brooks and Dunn, My Next Broken Heart. Anybody familiar with?
I'm not familiar with that one.
I've never heard that one. I don't know, but I guess it meant enough to Chris to put it in his top 5. So I don't know. Anybody want, you know, anybody knows what that song is? Great, but no, nobody. Okay. All right. Well, then I don't feel so
at all.
feel so
Totally
dumb.
out of my
I have no
element.
idea. I don't know, but okay, I'm not alone. All right, fine. Okay, Aaron, your number 4 pick, or your number 2 pick at whatever. You know, your second pick, 4th on your list. How about that?
Pick is it's about a permanent breakup. So you know, this has always been one of my favorite ballads by this band. And it's "You're All I Need" from Motley Crue.
Oh wow!
Oh,
And it's about a guy that kills his girlfriend. So it's that breakup song. And,
permanent breakup.
yeah, it was actually based on a true story and everything. I've just always loved that song. It's actually probably my favorite ballad that Motley Crue ever did. You know, I don't like their ballads quite as well usually, but I really like "You're All I Need." Those lyrics just really connected with me when I was younger. Not the killing part, but it's really, I really love that song. It like struck a nerve with me. So that's my favorite Motley Crue ballad.
Nice.
We're not advocating killing anybody on
No.
this.
That's I do like that song. I mean, the lyrics are weird, but yeah, I do like that song.
I like weird. So.
Yeah. Okay, my pick is to me, this is kind of like a song very much inspired by Love in Vain, and that would be Heartbreak Station by Cinderella. Yeah, see? I'm not cool enough to have the record. I just have the CD for that one. But, you know, sitting at the station, tears filling up my eyes. It's got a great vocal from Tom on that one. He sounds great. He really, really sells it, you know. She took the last train out of my heart, man. I mean, come on. That song is, you know, it definitely, when you listen to Robert Johnson's Love in Vain, well, the Rolling Stones remade it, of course, famously. It's got that kind of feel, you know, and Tom Kiefer's a big fan of that kind of stuff. And so it was pretty easy for him to write that song. It just has a very timeless feel to it. You know, just anytime you put a train in a song, you know, it's got that she's leaving on the train, you know, there she goes kind of thing. I just think it's a great song. I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs on that album. So I had to put that one in there. Heartbreak Station with Cinderella.
Does he sing it like he sings everything else? She took the lot. Whatever, like, you know, well, the whole Brian Johnson.
That's in there, but not all of it is like that.
Obviously, I think it's a great pick because I had it ready to go too. So that's my favorite they did easily. I love that song.
Yeah.
That's a good one. All right, so my turn.
Yep.
All right, so for my fourth pick, I'm gonna go with a song off of the Quincy Jones "The Dude" album, and it's the song "Just Once," who was actually sang by James Ingram, who just passed away not too long ago, a few years ago. But again, that's one of those songs where not only the storytelling, but the connection to a movie. Do you guys remember the movie Last American Virgin by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of just the absolute great movies of the 80s. And one of the things that made it so great is, unlike the other movies in the 80s, where at the end, the nerdy guy, the loser, gets the girl, and it's all this happy ending. And this was just like the total opposite. Like, the movie ended with him driving away crying because he didn't get the girl. And then the credits come rolling that, which to me was just kind of genius. But the song that they were playing when that was taking place is a song "Just Once." And when he goes into the lyrics of that, again, it's one of those things I think that so many people can relate to that's ever been in a bad relationship, where he says, I did my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough, because here we are back where we were before. Seems nothing really changes. We're back to being strangers, wondering if we ought to stay or head on out the door. Like, it's just, in that whole dilemma. And then when you get into the chorus where he says, just once, can we figure out what we've been doing wrong, why it never lasts very long? And it's just like all that stuff just that people go through, and they're trying to figure out, like, how do you make this thing work? It just never seems to work. And so, yeah, that's one, again, where when it comes to painting that picture, it just describes it to a T for me. So that's Just Once off of the, again, it's James Ingram that sings it, but it's off the Quincy Jones "The Dude" album.
Yeah, as you were talking about the lyrics, I'm like, I've heard that song. I didn't initially when you read, I'm like, I know that song. I've heard it, and then I couldn't think of who sang it. It's like, yeah, James Ingram.
Yeah.
They're awesome
Great
lyrics.
Great track.
All right. Well, I want to acknowledge in the comments section, we've had a lot of great suggestions here. We got "I Will Survive" by Gloria Gaynor.
That's a good one, man.
That's a great one.
I hate that song.
Jay Giles, "Love Stinks" is a great one. Joy Division, "Love Will Tear Us Apart," which I didn't realize until recently, but that was a reaction song to "Love Will Keep Us Together," the Captain and Tennille song. They wrote that like as a response to that.
Was it really?
Which, who knew that like a song like "Love Will Bring Us Together" was even on Joy Division's radar? But
is that true, or are you making that up?
no, I'm not.
Like, is that real?
That's not like my Metallica video. I'm not making that that one.
Christian.
I almost used that "I Will Survive," but I was going to use the Cake version. But I actually was considering that one.
Yeah, I don't know if I've heard "Flashback" by Ministry. Should I have? I don't know. Or "Tornado of Souls," Megadeth. You guys heard that one?
Maybe.
Aaron, come on, you're the Megadeth.
You might be ruining picks here.
To say, if anybody's got it, it's Aaron.
All right, mine is kind of a little bit out in left field. I'm gonna pick a song by the Ben Folds Five, and it's called "Song for the Dumped." I don't know if anybody's heard that, but it's a more kind of like aggressive, kind of a tongue-in-cheek breakup song. But the whole chorus is, "Give me my money back, give me my money back, you bitch. And don't forget to give me back my black t-shirt." I mean, it's just sort of one of those, like, "Give me my money back, you bitch." But it's very like tuneful. Definitely sticks in your head. But yeah, I love that. See, Trevor. And so that one, it's not like a tearjerker. Obviously, it's kind of, he's talking about, don't forget to give me back my black t-shirt. So it's a very acrimonious breakup. But they did derive some comedy out of it, at least.
Muskrat Love.
Yeah, that was your pick, Gary, from a couple weeks.
Yes, one of those nights I wasn't here. I had to send them in.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, Josh's pick Josh's pick was by the Dave Matthews Band.
Oh God.
Number 41. Have you guys heard that song?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a good song.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, Josh is like, DMB is my jam. And this one is a tearjerker.
It is a good song. I don't know why they call it 41, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't that's on that
The one with ants marching.
yeah, that album, whatever. It's got Dreaming in the title or something like that. But okay, cool enough. And then Chris's pick was Kenny Chesney, Someone to Fix, which I've never heard any of these songs. I'm feeling really musically incompetent.
Wait a minute. What was Conway Twitty Loretta Lynn just popped up? MGK. What do you say? Conway Twitty Loretta Lynn. After the Fire's Gone. That's probably a good one. I would probably like that one. I don't know it, but
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, back to Aaron for your third pick.
Well, my third pick has been mentioned. And it's the heaviest breakup song ever, Tornado of Souls by Megadeth.
Oh, Aaron, you sandbagger.
No, this is actually my pick here. I swear to God. And I have it right here. I only have like 6 records here this time. But the lyrics are perfect. It's Dave Mustaine just spitting fire about a breakup, and amazing guitar solo too. One of the best ever by Marty Friedman. And yeah, that's a good one. Famous Final Scene. But Tornado of Souls, I was like trying to find picks that no one would think of, and then they threw that out there. So.
That's off the Peace Sells and Business is Good album?
No, it's on Rest in Peace. Rest in Peace Sells.
Sales and Business is Good.
Sales and Business is Good.
That's a great hit album.
Because I just thought of a perfect one, and I'm going to grab it from my records there because I just thought of my number one. I didn't even think about it till these comments. No one mentioned it, but some lyrics made me think of it. So I'm going to pick one for my number one here in a minute.
Still Too Soon to Know by Elvis Costello.
I love Elvis Costello. Great pick.
Mm-hmm.
What was some of those other ones that were just on there?
Famous Final Scene by Bob Seger. Great one. And then Pick Withers. Or I'm sorry, Bill Withers. Not the Dire Straits.
Yeah, that song is 2 minutes of perfection. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
every time I hear that, I think of the TV show Monk because of the cop on there that played in Silence of the Lambs.
Your
singing.
time is gonna come.
Oh, I love Your Time Is Gonna Come. Great pick. Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. That's another great breakup song on
Baby.
Babe, 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 babe,
Baby, baby, I'm gonna leave you when the summertime comes around.
All right, Gary.
Oh, my next pick is kind of like it's so say you're breaking up, but it's kind of a slower breakup kind of thing. Now I don't have brother Chris Brophy here to help me sing along on this one, but it is I'll try to sing it away. You keep leaving notes on my door. I guess you're hungry for some more. Well, that's too bad, 'cause I ain't that lonely yet. No, I ain't that lonely yet. I love that song, man. It basically is all saying, they're kind of broke up, but the woman kind of put him through some shit, and now she's calling him on the phone. Hey, I'm all alone. He says, oh yeah, that's real sad. And, and talks about how she kind of wants him back, for some, a little bit of sex action there or something. And he's kind of telling her, hey, you put me through too much crap. I'm not that lonely yet. I'm not calling you back up. You can suffer a little bit. And Dwight Yoakam does a great job of that. I know Chris is my Dwight Yoakam buddy. on that. He'd love that pick. So although he's picking some shitty songs tonight, so maybe this wouldn't be on there. I don't know, but I love it. I love that song.
Great singing there, Gary. I had no
Thank
idea what
you.
it was until you held up the CD, but
Yeah, imagine I figured you were a Dwight Yoakam fan there.
I'll listen to Yoko before Yoakam.
Oh,
Oh, geez. I don't know about that.
that's cool.
Do not know about that.
Must have got lost. Would that be considered a breakup song?
Yeah.
No, why not?
Could be.
As much as You're All I Need from Motley Crue, I guess.
Yeah,
True.
All right. Okay. Well, so for my third pick here, there's actually a few I left here. I said I was gonna make a game time call. So yeah, I'll cover these in the honorable mention. So for the my third pick, I'm gonna go with this here, which is actually a 12-inch single. It's, sorry about the glare, the Tony Rich Project, and this is the song Nobody Knows. He came out like 1995. I mean, he had this as kind of a hit, but there really wasn't a lot else that he did, so he, really didn't become like huge. But again, this goes into one of those great description things where he's broken up with this girl and he's going through all this stuff, and he's kind of going through the process of how he's lying to himself, trying to get past it, the stuff he's telling himself. And he says stuff like I pretend that I'm glad you went away. These four walls are closing more every day, and I'm dying inside, but nobody knows it but me. And so like everything he talks about is like all of this crap that he's trying to do to get past this. And then at the very end of everything he says, he's like, but I'm dying inside and nobody knows it but me. Like I'm going through all this personal hell internally. And I mean, yes, it's just one of those songs again that from the first time I heard it, the lyrics just really, really stood out to me. So that's gonna be my third pick there, Tony Rich Project.
That's awesome. Don't you guys just love Brandon? I mean, I said this on one of my videos, and I don't know if you saw it, but I feel like if I could pick one person, say you had to pick one person out of the vinyl community to just represent everything that's good about the vinyl community, I would pick Brandon, Mr. Hall of Fame, just because I feel like he represents so much. I mean, he's so knowledgeable. He's emotional about music. He's got he's so eclectic. I mean, he likes a little bit of everything. And, every time when you talk, unlike myself, you never stammer and stutter or stop. You always talk like, hey, I knew exactly what I was going to say. You pick up these records, you just go right off the bat. And I just think, you would be my representative.
Well, he doesn't have to rely on gimmicks.
Thanks so much, man. Really
No, he doesn't rely on gimmicks. No, he doesn't do editing like crazy stuff or anything. He just kind of very straightforward.
I appreciate it. Oh, shucks, guys. Stop.
Didn't mean to make you blush, but
is it coming through?
Leaving on a Jet Plane for John Denver, Cass Elliott fans. Yeah, great one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
that is a good one.
I didn't know Cass Elliot had anything to do with that song.
She covered just about every song in the 1960s, I think. All she did was cover songs. But all right, my pick is going to be by Sir Elton John, but the lyrics were by Bernie Taupin, so it's really more Bernie Taupin than it is Elton John. Sorry seems to be the hardest word off the Blue Moves album. And, the thing about when you're a songwriter and then your biggest songs become hits, like Tiny Dancer was a huge hit, and that was written for his wife. And then your relationship falls apart, and then you have to write about the breakup and the disintegration of that relationship. And that's kind of what happened with Bernie Taupin, unfortunately, is, when things were great, he was writing love songs to his wife. And then when things started to fall apart because of, and I think he probably had more to do with that. I think there was some infidelity involved. I think there was some, alcoholism and drugs and things like that played into it. But, it's just one of those. It's not a song that he wrote hypothetically or that he wrote about a fictitious breakup. I mean, he was living that. I mean, that was an open letter to his wife about, is there any chance that we can patch this up, that we can make it right, that we can bring it back together? I mean, it's really heartbreaking to even read the lyrics because, I mean, he was living that. And as an artist, as a lyricist, to bare your soul like that, I mean, those are some of the, when you're going through such a traumatic experience like that, the last thing you probably want to do is publicize it or open that wound for everybody to see. And for Bernie, being so vulnerable at that time, I think the only thing that he knew what to do was to write about it and give it to Elton to sing about it. And that's just really, there's another song on there between 17 and 20 or something like that. And that was like the age when they were when they met. So he was a little bit older than she was. And, but anyway, that song in particular, I remember the first time I heard it, it was like, whatever. I was getting into Elton John, and ballads were the last thing that I was kind of, connecting with. And then years later, when you're actually going through a breakup and you're like, oh, wow, now I know what he was talking about. Now I know how raw that emotion was that he was trying to communicate. So.
And it's amazing too, that the relationship that Bernie and Elton had, Bernie could write those lyrics and nobody could have delivered them any better than Elton John did.
Right.
No, not at all. He was almost like his therapist a little bit, it was like he could put the perfect music to those words that he was writing. But
yeah, it's an awesome duo.
For sure.
All right. So anyway, Josh's third pick is by Ariana Grande.
Oh, wow.
Ariana Grande. Thank You Next. Again, I have no idea. That's a newer artist. I have no idea what that song.
Josh is always keeping up with the kids.
I can't even speak about some of these because I've never heard the song before. But
I heard Metallica does a good version of that one.
Yeah.
Off of Garage Days.
So, I guess. And then Chris's third pick is by Post Malone. Die For Me.
Yeah, I don't know any Post Malone. Never got into him.
Sorry, guys. I know. I wanted to represent your picks well, but I've never heard these songs, so there's not a lot I can say about it. But Chris is so eclectic. I'm sure it's a great song. But those boots are made for walking. That's a great one.
Another Megadeth. All right.
Very true.
Bivorce.
I don't know that one.
It's a country song. You don't know that one?
Oh, there you go. So I'm gonna say my real number one for number one, but when you guys were talking about similar, I don't know what it was, but this just popped in my head, and I had to throw this one in here because it's such a unique breakup song, and it's talking about all the things that they're. It's called. It's on this song. It's The Nails, and it's Things You Left Behind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, talking about all the things that their girlfriend left behind after they left. Talking about all crazy stuff like heroin and used needles and all kinds of crazy stuff. This song is so cool and unique.
Nails.
Almost like Lou Reed-ish in a way, but it's just the lyrics are so unique in it, and it's so catchy. This song is just a phenomenal. Things You Left Behind by The Nails. And if you guys haven't heard it, like anyone out there, check out the lyrics of that one. It's crazy. It's just a crazy good song, and the perfect breakup song.
I don't think I've heard it.
Yeah, they got some pretty crazy lyrics.
Yeah,
like on their next album, there was that song like 51 lines for 51. Or I forget the title of the song, but it's like the same thing. It's like a laundry list of like all the women that he's been with and like the thing that was he most remembers about each of them. But that song is great too. And the lyrics are almost kind of like funny in a way.
Yeah.
No.
It's like crazy. I mean, just this off the wall stuff to make it funny, but you could see that it would be hell if it actually was real type thing.
Okay. Well, we got some more picks. Only When You Leave by Spandau Ballet. I know it's a band we all love. You Ought to Know by Alanis. November Rain, GNR. Something
good.
I Can Never Have by Nine Inch Nails. Yeah. Don't Dream It's Over. Crowded House. Excellent.
Great.
Great song.
Very cool. All right, Gary, your next pick.
All right. My next one is kind of, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's kind of a breakup song because it's like a after the fact kind of thing. I went with You're So Vain by Carly Simon. Lyrically, I don't know if you can see that cover there very well.
Oh yeah.
I just love the lyrics
Mhm.
in that song, and I love the line where it said, she said, "You had me several years ago when I was still quite naive, and you said that we made such a pretty pair and that you would never leave." But then the line says, "But you gave away the things you love, and one of them was me."
Yeah.
I had some dreams that were clouds in my coffee. Just that's all they were. They were dreams. It wasn't real. You're so vain. That whole. Then she's like just telling him, you are so vain. You're never going to have a real relationship.
No,
because you're more in love with yourself than you are anybody else.
Yeah.
And I just think that's an awesome kind of a FU kind of breakup song. That's kind of like her version of You Ought to Know, 30 years before it came out or whatever. So
Yeah.
Carly Simon, You're So Vain.
I love the Fashion Cat version of that too. They do a great job on it.
I do like their version.
Nice. Good pick, man. Another good one. All right. So for my number 2 pick, I'm going to this album right here, which is The Script.
Oh.
And this is their album from 2008, and it's the song Break Even. And this is one of those bands / albums that I don't want to like, but it's just like there. But again, a lot of the storytelling they do inside of here is just really, really good stuff. But in Break Even, what he's basically doing is like they've broken up, and now he's comparing the moments that they're having at the same time and the different experiences that they're having in the moments. So he's like, I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. I just pray to a God that I don't believe in because I have time while you have freedom. But when a heart breaks, it doesn't break even. And then he's like, I'm trying to draw on a blank now. Like some of your best days were my worst. You found a man, that man's going to put you first. While I'm wide awake, you have no trouble sleeping because when a heart breaks, it doesn't break even. Like he's describing everything about how she's enjoying the time, she's free, she's all of this, and I'm just going through this hell because it's not an even break. But we don't just each walk away with a little bit of good and a little bit of bad. And just the way he described it, it's just like, oh my God, that when you're on the wrong side of a breakup, he is there, and he's just describing it to a T. So a really, really great song, very powerful lyrics inside of it, even though it's kind of more of somewhat of an upbeat song. But yeah, really, really good stuff. So that's The Script, Break Even.
Those are awesome lyrics, man.
What kind
Yeah,
of
it really is. I highly recommend checking that one out. It's great lyrics.
Yeah.
what genre would they be? I've never heard of them.
I mean, kind of that 2010-ish pop, radio pop type of, like I said, really kind of the very thing that makes me not want to like it. But it's like I can't help it. It's it's good stuff.
There's one. You're Breaking My Heart, Harry Nilsson.
That's a great one. I should
You're
have
breaking my heart. You're tearing it apart. So won't say it because I don't swear on camera. I keep my YouTube it's a family channel. I've always said my channel is a family channel, so I'm just going to let you imagine what the next line of that song is. But here's another great one: "Can't Stand Losing You" by the Police. Yeah.
One
All
of my
right,
top.
I think it's going to be from my favorite band, the Beatles, "For No One" off the Revolver album. And that's another one, you know, when I first started listening to the Beatles, that was before I was ever in a relationship. I was too young to be dating. And then after you experience your first breakup and you listen to the lyrics of those songs again, you're like, oh, now I know. Like those lyrics resonate with you in a way that they never did before. But I love that. I love the, you know, the French horn on the French horn solo on the track. It's just a really a beautiful bit of Baroque pop from the Revolver album. I've always loved that song. A great one. My honorable mention would be "Big Mouth Strikes Again" by the Smiths. What? I don't know. Is that really a breakup song? But anyway, Josh's pick, his fourth pick is by Ed Sheeran. "I'm a Mess."
He is a mess.
And Josh says, Josh says, "Laugh all you want, but this song totally guts me every time I hear it."
He knew we were gonna be laughing.
Yeah. So whatever. Well, that's not a. And Chris is like totally like, I knew Chris, you know, his tastes were very eclectic, but his pick is Lizzo, "Break Up Twice."
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you know, and he's like, "I know some of these are going to shock you, but a great song is a great song, and this one is spectacular.
Definitely agree with that.
Can't help but cry when I listen to it." So I don't know. I don't think we've ever talked about Lizzo on
No,
any
we haven't.
stream. So I got to give Chris a little bit of credit.
Yeah.
For that one. So
Bring
anyway.
Lizzo to the party.
Yeah. Very.
I kind of wish he was here to tell us about it because I have no clue.
Hey, and there's Craig. Hey, Craig, how's it going?
Hello.
All right, Aaron.
Number one, huh?
Yep.
All right. Well, my number one, no surprise, it's by Alice in Chains, "Love, Hate, Love." It's got some of the most haunting, disturbing breakup lyrics. You know, "I want to peel the skin from your face before the real you lays to waste." And just Lane Staley's vocal performance on that song is just astounding. And it's my favorite one easily. So "Love, Hate, Love" by Alice in Chains. Great lyrics by Elaine Staley, and it's just such a moody song. My favorite breakup song ever.
Nice.
Jeff liked it so much he had to leave.
I know.
I gotta drop a tear. I'll be right back.
Jeff, it's okay. He's done talking about it, man. You don't have to. Jeez.
Brought up
That
too
is
many
cool.
feelings.
That's a cool song. I mean, I never would have thought about it for a breakup song, but you know, it's Alice in Chains, so you know it's got to be kick ass.
Yeah, I was trying to not be too predictable here. You know, I could have went with you know, a lot, but I tried to get ones I really loved.
No, you and Brandon were definitely not predictable. I will say that. So that's good. And I don't mean as an insult or anything. That's good. All right, my number one pick is one of those songs where, you know, I mean, we all have these songs, right? Where you think, oh man, just everything about this song, it was done perfectly. You know, the music fits it so well. The lyrics are so cool, you know, slightly understated. The vocal delivery is great. And that's how I feel about this song. So my number one pick is "Into the Line" by Roxy Music.
Wow.
Good one.
I love this song, man. Thanks, Jeff. Jeff got me this album last year. You know, it starts out, you know, "I think I'll walk out in the rain, Called you time and time again. I got no reply. You've gone. I've reached the point of no return. The more I see, the more I stand alone. I see the end of the line. So that's how it starts out. And then I love, he's talking about all this different stuff, right? All his feelings in the song, questioning, were you ever lonely? Did I make you feel this way? He's coming, more and more realizing, I'm seeing the end of this relationship. But then at the very end, it says, if you ever miss me, if I should cross your mind, you know where to find me. I'll be waiting at the end of the line. So he's still got this. He's just saying, hey, I know we're over, but I guess I'm not really I'm not over you. If you change your mind, you know where to find me. I'm still waiting. And, everything. I love the way the song starts out too. It's got that piano and violin kind of going there at the beginning, and just the feel of that song. It's got that, I don't know, almost like a country vibe to it in a way, but vocally it doesn't, and there's like some harmonizing going on in it too, and I just think it's just a perfect song. End of the line.
Well, and I love the double meaning in that whole phrase, end of the line. It's like, this is the end of the line of our relationship. And then now he has to move back to the end of the line of all the guys that want to be with this, great woman that he just lost. So, yeah, that's a fantastic song. Great album and great song, too. Not really what you associate with Roxy Music, because when you think of Roxy Music, you don't really think of, oh, it's kind of got a country vibe to it. You think more of like this art rock, progressive kind of music, a little bit of new wave thrown in there. But that song is definitely, it stands out in their discography because it's so different. But I love that one. I Want You Back, the Jackson 5. Tears Are Falling, Kiss, and Jackson Browne, Late for the Sky. Those are both great picks, Craig.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. And Cocaine Blues, just by the way, by Johnny Cash.
What about Burn Bitch Burn by Kiss?
I actually was thinking of that one. I'm
surprised you didn't put it on there.
It was close. I have a different one for an honorable mention that I want to mention. So.
All right. So my number one.
Yeah.
Definitely a song that I think does not get enough credit for how, well, we'll kind of get into that. Ray Parker Jr., of all people, I Still Can't Get Over Loving You. That's one of the things that really jumps out to me about that song is, I remember watching one of those Mojo videos. They did like the top 10 like craziest psycho songs kind of thing. And number one always ended up being Every Breath You Take by the Police, right? And everybody thinks about that when they think about like crazy. Have they heard I Still Can't Get Over Loving You? Because like he walks the entire story. He starts off with I'm all confused and I don't know what to do because I still can't get over loving you. I've had a time, but I can't get you out of my mind. I still can't get over loving you. And he keeps repeating that. And in the first part of the song, he's going on about, it's not your fault that I feel the way I do. Things just didn't work out between us. I'm just having a hard time getting over loving you. And then somewhere in the song, he starts to shift. And it goes from, I still can't get over loving you to, I'm not through loving you. Like he goes into that mode. And then while the song is playing, if you really have to listen to it, because underneath it, he says in this really low tone, I'm getting mad. Like he just says it, like it's not part of the lyrics. And then it shifts over to this whole thing about, you know, if you try to leave, it's the last thing you'll ever do. Like you totally see him going from heartache, I know it's over, it's not your fault, I'm going through all of this. Wait a minute, I'm not done loving you. Look, if you try to leave at this point in time, it's the last thing you'll ever do. I mean, just goes total psycho in the song. And to, to start off just to be like so sweet, just like, oh man, I lost her and I'm just so, and then talking about killing her. It's like that is the craziest, most psycho love song that I've ever heard, and sang in such a soft 80s R&B popish kind of, but the dude is freaking losing his mind. So that is absolutely my number one breakup song. He nailed that story with that.
I gotta
Nailed
listen to that now. Gee.
Yeah, no kidding. You
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
you just matched Aaron's Motley Crue song.
I think he got it. He's the winner.
Yeah, just freaking flips on a dime. You're like, this dude just lost his freaking mind. What the hell?
There's a good one on the screen. After the Love Is Gone.
Yeah, that's a
Wind
great
and
one.
Fire.
Idiot Win by Dylan. Now that was about the breakup of his marriage to Sarah Dillon at the time. And that's that whole album, Blood on the Tracks, is a breakup album. Talk about bearing your soul and opening your wounds and just writing, for the whole world to see about the pain that you're going through. It's All Over Now by the Stones.
Yeah.
Breakup to Makeup, Stylistics. How Am I Supposed to Live Without You? Yeah. Yeah, pretty much every song Bill sang.
Yeah.
Song you ghost busted. George Jones, the king is gone and so are you. Well, think about that song, Brandon. My number one should be Run for Your Life by the Beatles. But it's not.
Yeah.
My number one, it's by a band called Eels, and it's one of the most heart-wrenching songs ever. I'm Going to Stop Pretending That I Didn't Break Your Heart is the name of it. And it's this guy looking back on a relationship that he pretty much dumped this girl and at the time didn't think much about it. And now he's reflecting on how callous he was at the time of their breakup and how insensitive and just what kind of a jerk he was. And now he's kind of reflecting on it. He's got remorse about it. He's feeling really guilty about it. And it's just such, if you've ever been in that situation where you've ended a relationship that the other person didn't want to end, that they still had feelings for you and they wanted the relationship to continue and you broke it off, listen to this song and it will, it's one of those where it's so raw, it's so brutal, it's such a fantastic song. And I know Josh, because it was one of those albums we had done an episode where we had talked about. Anybody know what that noise is?
It's the Predator.
I guess. Jeez.
I know. I'm trying to figure out if it's something on my end.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but anyway, fantastic breakup song. Almost like a post-breakup song, but anyway. So Josh's number one pick is Used to Love Her by Guns N' Roses. And then he says, ha ha, no, it's not. And then he says, Richard Marx, Same Heartache, Different Day. You guys know that song?
I know a lot of Richard Marx. I don't know that one.
I don't know. Is that like 80s Richard Marx? Is it something that he did afterwards? So anyway, that. And then his number one pick is Amy Grant, When We Fall Apart.
Amy Grant.
So, I don't know that one either.
Doesn't Rob McEwen have a breakup song?
Yeah.
No, because Rod McEwen was never in a relationship. His whole shtick was, I'm alone. I'm alone in a relationship. I'm monogamous. I never, I'm like totally against. So, yeah, no, Rod McEwen doesn't have any breakup songs because he was never in a relationship. At least the way he tells it, he was never in a relationship to begin with. So, but yeah, I don't know. I give Chris a lot of credit because I never saw any of those picks coming. And even Josh's picks, like Ariana Grande and Ed Sheeran,
I don't think
Richard
they.
Marx. Have you ever known him to talk about any of those artists? But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, when you're talking about a specific kind of song,
Yeah.
maybe you pick songs that you don't ordinarily choose. But
Yeah.
I'm surprised Chris didn't have Michael W. Smith on his list, for crying out loud. Breaking up with God, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I have a few honorable mentions that didn't quite make the pick. Did you guys have any?
Well, go
I have a
ahead.
couple. Not too many this.
Yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
Okay. Just really quick here. This is one I thought was so obvious that I didn't want to show it. Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah.
You Were Meant for Me by Jewel.
Oh, that's good.
Another great storytelling. How she's talking about being in her new house and everything. How she's trying to play off everything is cool, but she's still missing. The Shouting Stage by Joan Armatrading. Another great one, probably not as well known. Human by Human League.
Oh, wow.
Baby Come Back by Player. I Miss You by Climax. Awesome 80s R&B hit there. The Flame by Cheap Trick.
Thought about that one.
Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You by Milli Vanilli. My boys. Missing You by Tom Waits.
Oh.
And last but not least, Heartbreak Warfare by John Mayer.
No Sugar Tonight, but guess who?
That's a good one.
Brandon, you just you're the very first person in the BC to ever talk about John Mayer, just by the way.
Tom St. John talks about him quite a bit.
Yeah, I love John Mayer, though. I don't know why I never talk about him other than I don't have any. I mean, I don't know. I've got a couple of CDs by him, but
I've got a couple of my shows though. But.
Yeah, I like John Mayer. I think he just got a little too commercial after his first 3 albums. He started getting a little too poppy and a little too, trying to climb into the top 40 at any cost. But
that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. His hits suck. Everything behind that.
Yeah, no, that's a great way to put it. Absolutely, yeah.
So there's one that was like very close to being my number one, and I really should have put this as my number one part 2, and it's the song "A Million to One" from Look It Up. That one, when I was a teen, in my late teens, that's a song that always played when a girl broke up with me. Was "A Million to One." Love that song so much. And then I also got this from this album. It's called Robin's Song. Very heartfelt acoustic song. John Corabi sings it. A great melody and lyrics. But Robin's Song is amazing. If you don't know that, check it out. And then I got to go with this one last. It's where is it? Oh, it wasn't on this one. It's on this one. I Don't Want to Cry No More from Wild Boys. More up tempo. I can't figure this the screen out. More up tempo, but a really good song. Wild Boys. I Don't Want to Cry No More. So that's my my 3 honorable mentions. That's it.
Well, I didn't get them out, but a couple of mine were "Go Your Own Way."
Yeah, I almost did that.
That's a good one.
Let's see, what's the other one? Well, I thought of, I've done everything for you, but you've done nothing for me. By Rick Springfield, written by Sammy Hagar. And then finally, You Got Lucky by Tom Petty, where he's, basically saying, the girl's thinking about leaving him, whatever, you want to leave me, you go ahead, because you got lucky when I found you, baby.
Great choice there.
Those are all good.
Yeah, Craig, Stillheart. That was my number 1, my number 5 pick. That song, She's Gone. I had that on here earlier.
My only honorable mention, this one just came to me, it would be Depeche Mode, The Things You Said, which is basically, it's about somebody who they find out that their girlfriend has been talking trash behind their back to all their friends. And, they thought they had a great relationship. And now they're hearing all the things this person said behind their back and realizing that the relationship is over. But Oasis, Don't Look Back in Anger. Sea Devil, yeah, that's a great one. Leslie Gore, It's My Party. Yeah, why not? Why not? She's Gone by Steelheart. Yeah, actually, Aaron already did that one. But why not She's Gone by Hall & Oates? Why can't we have that one too? That's a great breakup song.
Neil Sedaka, Breaking Up the Target.
You mentioned Depeche Mode. What about It's No Good? That'd be another good one by Depeche Mode.
That's another one.
Oh,
yeah, they got a lot of good breakup. Of course, Jeff picks DM. You know it.
Gotta love the mood.
Always, yeah.
I like Trevor's Love 'Em, Leave 'Em by Kiss.
Yep, that's a good one. I could have picked about 10 different Kiss songs.
I almost picked I Still Love You.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Another one's my favorite Kiss one, but those are all good too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, these were good songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Well
all.
done, everybody.
And like as soon as we end the video, I'm going to think about like 10 more that
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't I?
Don't know what you got till it's gone.
No.
Heartbreak Station better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Any last thoughts? Anything that's been on your mind in terms of music or records or anything going on that you want to bring up or chat about?
I'm really curious to hear that. I haven't heard anything from that new Judas Priest, so I'm looking forward to grabbing that this weekend.
Yeah, that's supposed to be coming in the mail for me. But
yeah, the new Ace Frehley's out. Chris hated it, but Aaron, I think you like it a lot.
My favorite he's done since Trouble Walking. I love it. Anomaly's real close. I like Anomaly a lot too.
Is that one you're going to buy, Gary?
I will eventually. You'll see on my next vinyl finds why I didn't buy it. Aaron will make fun of me, but some people will understand. Well, you know what? I mean, records are so expensive now.
Yeah.
And like I went into a record store, and honestly, the Ace Frehley record, and then there's a couple other records like used ones I was looking for. I didn't get any of those that I was looking for, but other things caught my eye, and they were better deals. And so I walked out of the store. I didn't even have the damn Ace Frehley record, but I had some other stuff. So it's like you got to make decisions. That's the way I am. It's like, I have so much money. Here I am with this much money. I always have like more records in my hand than I can afford. And as I go around, I'm like, all right, this one goes back now. Okay, this one goes back. I'll get it on another time, or I'll order it on a CD from Amazon, if I have to. So
I always prefer buying the used records when you just have the money for that, like, and getting more of the used ones that you really like. So you can always find the newer ones later on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get the used ones again.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I picked this up today. I'm super happy about it. I didn't realize this was a repress or that this was even available now. It's the Count 5 Psychotic Reaction, a garage rock classic. And the great thing about this is they use like this heavy cardboard stock for the sleeve, like you used to get back in the 60s. I mean, the sleeve weighs more than the record does. That's how like great it is. It's almost like they use like the original packaging on this. But very cool. Yeah, it's got the song Psychotic Reaction on it. It's also got a cover of My Generation. But very cool. This is one of the Kraft reissues. But if you like 60s, this sounds like the Yardbirds, if I had to make a comparison. It's kind of like the Yardbirds from the same period of time, but
very cool.
It's like Psychotic Reaction, the same one Trouble did, the same song Trouble did, or you
I
probably
don't know. I'm not familiar with that one, but anyway, of Craig says, please keep me in your thoughts. I am still awaiting shoulder surgery. Yikes. Yeah, well, that can't be any fun, having to deal with that pain. But all right, Craig. Michael McDonald and Doobies. What? Michael McDonald and the Doobies are making an album? Are you kidding me? Really? Wow.
Count 5. They were fun.
Jeez.
All right. Now we're down to 9.
All right. Well, it's been fun, fellas. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And next week we'll be back. We'll have a different topic. I think we're going to try and do an Iron Maiden video here coming up soon. So maybe that one, or we got to do Judas Priest also. We've never done a Judas Priest video, like a ranking video. So maybe we'll have one of those teed up in the future. But
we've never done a Sweet FA ranking video either.
No, we never have. Or Clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Dangerous Toys, or any of these bands. But you know, anyway, this is a fun episode. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and everybody have a great weekend.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.